On one of the days when Jesus was teaching the people in the temple and proclaiming the good news, the chief priests, legal experts, and elders approached him. They said, "Tell us, what kind of authority do you have for doing these things? Who gave you this authority?" He replied, "I have a question for you. Tell me, was John's baptism of heavenly or of human origin?" They discussed among themselves, "If we say it's of heavenly origin, he'll say, 'Why didn't you believe him?' But if we say it's of human origin, all of the people will stone us to death because they are convinced that John was a prophet." They answered that they didn't know where it came from. Then Jesus replied, "Neither will I tell you what kind of authority I have to do these things." Hi, I'm Michelle Funk, and I'm delighted to be with you today. When I was younger, I was involved in school sports. That meant after-school practices where we would work on skills and plays and team strategy. But it also meant running, as in conditioning, and the ever-so-fun wind sprint. I recall one practice during conditioning when I just didn't feel like running. The coach said, "One more time," and I said no. I lagged behind, giving little to no effort. Then the coach said, "One more time," and I ran even more slowly. Then the coach said, "One more time for Michelle." I looked around at my teammates who were not too happy with me. That night at home, I complained to my mom, who answered as she always did anytime I grumbled about practice. She asked me, "Who is in charge, you or the coach?" Of course, I knew the right answer, the coach. Now, thankfully, I had great people as coaches, and deep down, I knew they set up our practices to make our team better. They had the big picture in mind, preparing us to win tough games, and we did, and that was fun. Along the way, they also helped us to connect as a team instead of a group of individuals. Today, some of my best friends are the same girls that were giving me the side eye that one day I didn't feel like running wind sprints. My mom was right. The coach's authority was to be respected and followed, even when they told us to run one more time. Our passage today begins a chapter describing what is usually called the Day of Questions. It was a day when the Jewish authorities came to Jesus with question after question designed to trap him, and when, in his wisdom, he answered them in such a way that left them speechless. Here, the reference is to the cleansing of the temple, which we just read about in the previous chapter. This act of Jesus not only defied the authority of the Jewish leaders, but also hurt their monetary profits. They viewed Jesus as a threat to their authority. The reply of Jesus is sometimes described as a clever debating answer used to score a point. But it is far more than that. He asked them to answer the question, was the authority of John the Baptist human or heavenly? The point is that their answer to Jesus' question would answer their own question. Everyone knew how John had regarded Jesus and how he had considered himself only the forerunner of the one who was the Messiah. If they agreed that John's authority was of heavenly origin, then they also had to agree that Jesus was the Messiah, because John had said so. If they denied it, the people would rise against them. Jesus' answer, in fact, asks the question, "Tell me, where do you yourself think I got my authority?" He didn't need to answer their question if they answered his. The leaders were threatened by Jesus, whose authority came from God. Jesus' teachings and actions were ushering in the kingdom of God. Jesus knew the big picture, while the religious leaders lagged behind, only seeing what they thought was most important, their power and monetary profit. Our practice for this week is to consider those who are bringing in more of the heaven to the here and now. Send an encouraging email to your pastor or church worker and tell them how much you appreciate all the extra work they are doing for Lent and Easter prep. Drop off a coffee or a gift card or a note. Just let them know that they are part of the big, beautiful picture of God.